What's going on YouTube? Kelly Gaines back here again. So today we got the psychology of the GAA catfish with Louize Carroll. Now apparently guys, I was just it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was just flicking through my news stories and it basically said that the two Johnnies have experienced a catfish, guys. You know what I mean? Because obviously they're famous, right, in Ireland, right? Everyone knows the two Johnnies. So they experienced a catfish. He was obviously texting a girl back and forth. He wanted to meet her. They didn't want to meet. And then basically they got catfish, guys. It was probably just a troll or a Russian bot or something that made them fall in love. Maybe it was like a guy that wanted to make fun of them or expose them. Whatever, guys. Whatever, you know what I mean? Or something like that, like a catfish, like that show in America, guys, is really funny. I used to watch that show. Me and my friends used to just troll people when we were like kids. When we were like 13, we would like create like fake accounts, or 15, maybe a little bit older, and we just like troll people. So I definitely know what catfishing is coming from. But if you're actually intentionally planning on meeting the person, then yeah, guys, there's no there's no point doing catfishing, because you're never gonna meet them, and that person's just gonna be like, okay, who the hell is this? But guys, before we get into this, they're saying it this way around. Women are the biggest catfishes of all, guys. There have been so many dates where I've gone on where I'm like, had to do a double take. I walk by them, I'm like, bitch, you is not the chick that I just matched with on Tinder. Like, not in the slightest. So let that not be forgotten, guys. Definitely women don't be catfishing, or yeah, women definitely the biggest culprits of catfishing, guys. So let's get into this one, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, go check out my Patreon, my friggin' my fitness plans, all that good stuff, guys. I love you guys all, and let's get it, man. This is my man Johnny. They're both Johnny Schmacks, I think, or one guy's Johnny Schmacks and this guy's another guy, but they're both wicked. So two of the biggest people in Ireland. Let's get it.
Question on everyone's lips is, why does someone do this? Why does someone set up fake accounts and start catfishing? What do you think?
If they're kids, it's just boredom. Like, I can tell you that much. But if it's over an adult, I don't really know.
It's very layered. And everybody is different, but there is one common denominator about social media and about being online.
Dude, your man's dead ass serious here.
Whether it's online dating or social media, the common denominator is that the potential for anonymity, the lure and seduction of anonymity, actually decreases a person's moral code.
Yeah, that was like, we learned that in college, first year college ethics, or I think it was like final year actually. But it was, yeah, their anonymity decreases. So like, guys, comment on YouTube, they say the most outrageous shit. But actually the YouTube comments are pretty smart. But if you go on Twitter or Instagram, these comments, they're just outrageous, guys.
So you're more likely to edit the truth. I mean, we see this on a spectrum. Like, that said, right? So there's a spectrum of editing the truth. We put filters on our faces. That's one end of it. Right.
I can't filter these videos, guys, so you guys gotta take me for what I am, okay? Please don't judge.
Up to completely creating a false persona. And why do we do it? Multiple different reasons. But one of them is, and actually there's multiple sort of psychological theories around this. One of them is erotomania, which is being fantastically in love with somebody who's in the public eye.
He's just like, I got it going on. You know what I mean? My man's happy here because he knows that some chicks are madly in love, which I don't blame him. You know what I mean? They probably are. And
it's rooted in feelings of being so dissimilar, of having such a big gap between the potential within you, or the resources within you, the security within you, or your own self-worth or value. There's such a big gap between your sense of yourself and this person that you see in the media, that your psyche begins to close it, and you begin to believe, in order to boost your own self-worth, that actually you can have a relationship with this person. And actually this person
basically is trying to say that, the loser guy is trying to have a relationship with Drake or something. It's never going to happen, so they have to kind of create a false person.
Person might even be in love with you.
Wow. What do you think somebody is getting out of this?
There's a payoff, right? So even if a behavior looks dysfunctional, the reason we would continue that behavior is because there's a payoff.
What's the payoff?
The payoff is she gets connection with you. She gets communication with you. So regardless...
Well, everybody knows that, right?
Regardless of it not being rooted in the truth.
Yeah.
She's getting your messages. She's getting your attention. She's...
Oh, yeah. He's like heartbroken, right? Because he thought he was texting this... I actually feel pretty bad for my man, the two Johnnies. Because like, he was obviously like this chick, and now she's, you know what I mean, probably some bot in India or something.
Showering you with attention.
Or Russia.
She's curated a persona such that it reflects the things that make you feel good, right? So she's tapped into, or any catfish taps into, your interests. You know, what make you feel fulfilled, what make you feel seen, heard. That's what we want in life. It's what everybody wants. To feel that you're recognized by somebody else. That makes you feel special.
I don't give a shit, guys. I just do these videos because it's just absolutely legendary. I can interact with people online. I don't really give a shit about people recognizing me in real life. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter to me whether or not. But obviously, she's, you know, that's probably the psychology behind it. You know, I just want to be able to do my own business full time. You know, that's what I do this shit for. But yeah.
But also, very importantly, that makes you feel that connection. You know, that spark, that electricity, that love connection. And so you think, wow, I've really met somebody powerful here, somebody who gets me, and it's wrapped up in this incredible package.
That's why, guys, you always video chat that person. If they're not meeting, say, hey bitch, you better video chat me or else I ain't meeting your dumb ass. And then if she says, oh no, I can't video chat, I gotta put my makeup on, scam.
I can see.
Yeah.
And so we start to fill in the gaps, you know? So something might not make sense, but we'll overlook that because it feels really...
That's why are some people more susceptible to being a victim of a catfish than others?
I would say yes, but different people can be susceptible at different stages of their lives.
Okay.
So if you're in a more vulnerable place in your life, you might have more of a need to be seen in that moment in time. You might have more of a need to connect, to feel emotionally connected to somebody. You know, you might be feeling wounded in your life. You might be healing, and we're way more vulnerable then to being taken advantage of. And that's why it is important to have a network like the other Johnny, right? Who's able to say, this doesn't actually smell right. There's something a bit off here. You know, to actually point it out, to call it. So the importance of our own quality network, and that's the important word to say, a quality network around us who can actually point at something and go, I know you're falling for this mirage in a way, because that's what it is.
Dude, I think some people as well just don't register to like the internet. It's very tough for people to understand trolling. It's very tough for people to understand things like that. And they can't grasp that, oh no, I haven't won that €1,000,000 that the African princess sent me. You know, they can't grasp that idea that this is not real, you know?
I know you're falling for that mirage because you so want it, right? And of course, everybody wants it to some degree. But something's not right. Something's off. So it's up to the people around actually to call it, to name it.
Are they lonely, the people who catfish? Is it something missing in their life that they're like, okay, I can't quite get that in my life, so I'm going to pretend to be somebody else in order to get it. Is that fair to say?
It's really fair to say, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, I think some people might use the word sinister, and it feels sinister. It does feel that way. But, you know, obviously I'm always going to come at it from a psychological perspective. And so there's a lot more going on beneath the surface. The impact on you is such that it feels almost betrayal. It's a form of trauma, actually.
Yeah,
you know, and depending on how long it goes on for, it can feel quite traumatic. That there was somebody that you were engaged with that you emotionally invested in.
Man's hella
that turned
sad.
out to just gone.
Man,
didn't exist, never existed. It can be extremely destabilizing. But for the other person, again, it's rooted in
brutal.
How do I get the thing that I want in my life? How do I, you know, we are drowning every day.
I pretty much just don't listen to anything online. Anything online, I just regard it as entertainment, guys. And not real life.
In pictures of what the ideal life is, of what the ideal attractiveness is. And, you know, the way that we can live to the best of our abilities. We see people in all kinds of scenarios, and it breeds a form of not good enough. And how am I ever going to get that with the current resources I have? Or, you know,
dude, you gotta elevate yourself. Start a YouTube channel like I did, guys, and then start get more shit from it. Basically,
simply don't have those resources, and it's not going to happen for me. But how can I bridge that gap? Because I have such a need and a desire for that. There could be huge levels of insecurity. You know, if somebody is pretending to be somebody else, they're moving away from who they are.
Dude, I wish someday someone can pretend to be me online. That's the ultimate compliment, guys.
But doing this, if you're catfishing somebody, you know that there can't be a happy ending. You know that the sand is falling through the hourglass. Eventually, the person cops, or you get found out, or you meet them, and it can't work.
Finally,
yeah, but the key for the catfisher is just to never meet them. Just keep saying, "Oh no, I can't meet this week."
I would say that you don't necessarily know that there won't be a happy ending. I would say that it's more likely being driven by a hope that there will be some kind of magic miracle that will occur, such as if I become friends with this person as a side friend of the person who never shows up, then eventually he may fall in love with me.
And that may be the motivating factor.
That's wild.
If you're friends with someone who's been the catfish, so let's say like in our case this Nikki girl, if like somebody's friends with her and knows this is going on, what do you do? Like it's clear that Nikki in this case needs,
well, if she's bad enough, man, you just let it happen.
some form of help or needs something. But what do they need, or what do they need to hear, I guess?
Yeah. Bearing in mind, if somebody has been doing this for a long time, this behaviour becomes quite natural for them. It becomes quite
Do they almost
normal.
believe their own lies?
Yes.
Right. That's scary.
Or you reason that it's not a big deal. Who cares? It's fine. Nobody's getting hurt. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Right, so we start to justify. And humans, honestly, if they're not pulled up in things, will start to justify their behaviours. And that's why as children, it's really important as parents that you know, no, that was bad behaviour.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
my
you're
ass
right,
whooped a
now
lot.
you feel bad in your belly. That's okay, you're supposed to. And that's so we generate that kind of moral code. We generate, well, that sense of, well, if I do this and I hurt somebody, I feel bad about it. I feel guilty. So that guilt signal starts to trigger. But if we get away with behaviour for years on end and there's no real consequence, that guilt signal stops impacting us. We don't feel it
A
anymore.
lot of people need
So
to
we
pull up on
keep
that.
doing the bad behaviour, just hoping to get the payoff.
Your moral compass almost switches off.
Yeah.
Such.
Yeah. So
Everyone knows that. It's
bearing that in mind,
philosophy, psychology 101.
and anyone around this person, if they continue to not say anything, is actually enabling the behaviour to continue. But it's also enabling somebody to hurt other people's lives also.
Brutal.
So there is some level of responsibility for people in a catfish's lives who knows that this is going on to actually name it, to call it.
Your moral compass almost switches off.
Yeah.
Such.
Yeah, so bearing that in mind, anyone around this person, if they continue to not say anything, is actually enabling the behaviour to continue. But it's also enabling somebody to hurt other people's lives also. So there is some level of responsibility for people in a catfish's lives who knows that this is going on to actually name it, to call it.
Well, what's the best way to go about it? I mean, you don't want to confront somebody head on. Is there a nicer way of doing it?
Do you pull them up on the behaviour, I guess?
You can confront somebody head on in
probably
a
have to,
compassionate
right?
way.
Okay.
You know, and it's exploratory. I've noticed that you do this, and I know that you think it's fun, and I know that it's a bit of a laugh, and it's
Yeah,
fun.
but that's just the internet. It's just trolling. Just don't believe anything on the fucking internet. I mean, especially if you're famous. Oh my god, don't believe shit if you're not
to
famous.
see the kind of power, right? Because it is power too.
Yeah.
There's a power element here that maybe you might not otherwise have in your life, that you have the ability to impact these people in, you know, other powerful positions, and you're actually having them run around the country, right? Arrive at your house. That's pretty powerful. Yeah. So the conversation is also how do you come back into alignment with who you are, because you likely feel a little broken and a little unworthy at your core here. So how do we get this? How do we come back to you, who you are, and start to build from there? And you know, I know that's hard sometimes to say in those words, but there's other words. Relationship. Yeah. Then you've got to start discovering who you are.
If there's someone listening to this who is doing catfishing, or Nikki, for example, what would you say to them if they're listening to this?
I would say, first and foremost,
Which they are listening to this, right?
sorry that you feel that you're not able to be who you really are, actually.
That's kind of condescending as well.
There's a sadness to that.
There is a sadness to that. And, you know, I feel that on her behalf. I really do. I feel for her. I would also say and encourage her that there is better ways to connect with people and meaningful connections in her life.
Yeah, just go on nights out and get pissed and, you know, hook up with people. But guys, what was I going to say? I actually feel pretty bad for my man. He has a girlfriend or a wife, I think. But I actually feel bad for the other guy here because he seems like such a nice bro. Like, he seems like just a, you know, like a gym bro type, just a real nice guy, and like obviously gets hurt, man. It's not good.
Who has been catfished? I mean, how can they process their feelings? Because like listening to this, there'll probably be hundreds of people who have been catfished, not necessarily by
me.
this person, but by somebody.
Me.
I mean, how can they process their
Well,
feelings?
we've done both, man. As kids, we were just trolling people. You know, that shit was funny, but definitely when you're an adult, guys, it's not
feelings in terms of like, I'm sure you'll feel silly, or you know, you'll feel like you were taken for a fool. How do you process that?
You're not going to want to trust people again.
Yeah, and that's a very real consequence. And depending on how...
Yeah, just video chat them, like I said, guys. If they can't show themselves, then that's it, guys. So that's all I'm going to give for you guys. Hopefully, they both get over that, man. It's pretty bad. Obviously, your man, Johnny B got caught. Yeah. What's the top comment here? It's a mad, bad, screwed up world straight from a Stephen King novel. So, yeah, guys, absolutely brutal, man. I hope they feel somewhat better inside after you listen to her. They just seem like absolute sound dudes. I've never met the two Johnnies or even saw them in person, but they seem like absolute legends. So, you know what I mean? Quit catfishing people, ladies. Freaking hell, man. You know, if I have to walk by another freaking, you know what I mean, Jabba the Hutt, man, I ain't dealing with it no more. So, love you guys all. I'll see you guys in the next video, man. Peace.